Space isn't silent. It's a graveyard filled with dangers we barely understand. Most people picture space as beautiful, peaceful, and full of endless possibilities. The truth is far darker. Behind every breathtaking image from NASA lies an environment that can kill in seconds, destroy spacecraft without warning, and expose mysteries that still leave scientists searching for answers. Today, we're exploring the dark side of space, the hidden dangers, terrifying discoveries, and unsettling truths that rarely make the headlines. By the end of this video, you'll never look at the night sky the same way again. 1. Space is trying to kill you every second. The biggest threat in space isn't an alien monster or a black hole. It's space itself. Beyond Earth's protective atmosphere, astronauts enter an environment where even the smallest mistake can become fatal. There is no breathable air. Temperatures can swing from over 250 degrees Fahrenheit in direct sunlight to nearly minus 450 degrees Fahrenheit in shadow, and there is nothing to stop harmful cosmic radiation from passing straight through the human body. But one of the least talked about dangers is something almost invisible: tiny pieces of space debris. Millions of fragments, from flakes of old paint to shattered satellites, race around Earth at speeds exceeding 17,000 miles per hour. At those velocities, even an object no larger than a grain of sand can punch through metal. NASA has found countless tiny impact craters on spacecraft windows, solar panels, and even the International Space Station. Every spacewalk is carefully planned because a collision with an unseen fragment could instantly become deadly. The frightening part is that this problem is getting worse. Every new satellite launch increases the amount of debris in orbit, creating the risk of a chain reaction known as the Kessler syndrome, where one collision creates thousands of new fragments that trigger even more collisions. Scientists worry that one day parts of Earth's orbit could become so dangerous that launching new missions would be nearly impossible. Space isn't empty. Now, it's a shooting gallery where the bullets never stop moving. 2. The silent radiation that could change the human brain. When astronauts leave Earth's magnetic field, they also leave behind one of the planet's greatest natural defenses. Earth's magnetosphere acts like a giant invisible shield, deflecting much of the high-energy radiation constantly streaming through space. Outside that protective bubble, the human body is exposed to cosmic rays traveling at nearly the speed of light. Unlike the radiation used in hospitals, these particles are incredibly energetic. They can pass directly through spacecraft walls, human tissue, and even DNA. Researchers have long known that prolonged exposure increases the risk of cancer, but recent studies suggest the effects may be even more disturbing. Animal experiments have shown that deep space radiation can damage brain cells, reduce memory, and impair decision-making. For astronauts traveling to Mars, this could become one of the greatest challenges of the entire mission. During the Apollo missions, astronauts crossed the dangerous Van Allen radiation belts quickly enough to keep exposure relatively low. A journey to Mars, however, would take many months, giving astronauts far more time to accumulate radiation doses. Engineers are developing better shielding, but there is still no perfect solution. Water, specialized materials, and even underground habitats on Mars have all been proposed as ways to reduce exposure. The unsettling truth is that before humans can safely explore the solar system, we may first have to solve one of space's most invisible and relentless threats. You can't see it, hear it, or feel it as it happens, yet it may be quietly changing your body with every passing day. 3. Space is far more violent than it looks. When we look up at the night sky, the stars appear calm and unchanging. In reality, the universe is one of the most violent places imaginable. Stars explode with unimaginable force. Black holes tear apart anything that gets too close, and enormous bursts of energy regularly sweep across the cosmos. One of the most terrifying events ever discovered is the gamma-ray burst. These explosions occur when massive stars collapse or when neutron stars collide. In just a few seconds, a single gamma-ray burst can release more energy than our sun will produce over its entire lifetime. If one powerful burst were aimed directly at Earth from a relatively nearby star, scientists believe it could severely damage the ozone layer, exposing life to dangerous levels of ultraviolet radiation. Fortunately, no known nearby stars currently pose such a threat. Even our own sun can become surprisingly dangerous. Solar storms occasionally hurl billions of tons of charged particles into space. In 1859, the famous Carrington event caused telegraph systems around the world to fail. If a storm of similar strength struck Earth today, experts warn it could disrupt satellites, GPS navigation, communications, and power grids on a massive scale. The greatest irony is that space looks peaceful only because everything happens across unimaginable distances. Behind every beautiful photograph of glowing nebulae and sparkling galaxies lies a universe where entire worlds can be destroyed without warning. The night sky may inspire wonder, but it also hides some of the most destructive forces nature has ever created. 4. The loneliest place humans have ever visited. There is a place in space where humans have traveled farther than anywhere else, and it is so empty that even rescue would be impossible. This place is the space between Earth and the Moon, where the Apollo astronauts once floated in complete isolation. But the true record holders for the most distant human-made objects are the Voyager spacecraft launched by NASA in 1977. Voyager 1 is now more than 15 billion miles away from Earth, traveling through interstellar space beyond our solar system. At that distance, a radio signal traveling at the speed of light takes over 22 hours to reach the spacecraft. That means if something goes wrong, scientists cannot fix the problem instantly. They have to wait almost 2 full days just to send a message and receive a response. The most incredible part is that Voyager is still working after nearly 5 decades. It carries a golden record containing sounds and images from Earth, designed as a message for any possible intelligent life that might discover it someday. But there is something deeply unsettling about Voyager's journey. It is a tiny machine drifting through a massive, dark universe, carrying a message from humanity while slowly moving farther away from everything it has ever known. 5. The strange truth about black holes. Black holes are some of the most mysterious objects in the universe, and the reality behind them is even stranger than science fiction. They are regions of space where gravity is so powerful that nothing can escape, not even light. This happens because an enormous amount of mass is compressed into an incredibly small area. The boundary around a black hole is called the event horizon. Once anything crosses this invisible line, there is no way back. A spaceship, a planet, or even a beam of light would be pulled inward forever. The closer something gets to a black hole, the stranger time itself becomes. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time moves slower near extremely strong gravity. To someone watching from far away, an object falling toward a black hole would appear to slow down almost endlessly. But the most terrifying part is what happens inside. Scientists still do not know exactly what exists beyond the event horizon. The center of a black hole, called the singularity, is where our current understanding of physics breaks down completely. Black holes are not cosmic vacuum cleaners, despite what movies often suggest. They do not automatically swallow everything around them, but if Earth were somehow placed near one, the result would be catastrophic. The universe created objects so powerful that even light itself cannot escape their grip. 6. The Moon is not as dead. As we thought for decades, scientists believed the Moon was a quiet, frozen world that had been geologically inactive for billions of years, a dusty rock covered with craters, just sitting in the darkness of space. But recent discoveries have shown that the Moon is far more active and mysterious than anyone expected. During the Apollo missions, astronauts placed special instruments called seismometers on the lunar surface. These devices detected thousands of moonquakes. Unlike earthquakes on Earth, some moonquakes can last for several minutes because the Moon is dry and rigid, allowing vibrations to travel differently through its interior. Scientists have also discovered evidence that the Moon may still experience small changes beneath its surface. As the Moon slowly cools, it contracts, creating cracks and movement. Some cliffs on the lunar surface appear surprisingly young, suggesting geological activity happened much more recently than previously believed. The Moon also has another hidden danger: extreme temperature changes. During the lunar day, temperatures can rise above 250 degrees Fahrenheit, while during the long lunar night, they can drop below -200 degrees. So while the Moon looks peaceful from Earth, it is actually a harsh and unpredictable place. The next time you look at that bright circle in the sky, remember, it is not a frozen decoration. It is a world with its own secrets, dangers, and a history we are still trying to understand. 7. The spacecraft that almost disappeared forever. In space exploration, success is often separated from disaster by a few tiny decisions. One of the best examples is NASA's Mars Climate Orbiter, a mission that ended in one of the most embarrassing failures in space history. Launched in 1998, the spacecraft was supposed to study the Martian atmosphere and help scientists understand the planet's weather patterns. Everything seemed normal until it approached Mars. Then, communication suddenly stopped. The spacecraft had entered the atmosphere too low and was destroyed. The reason was shockingly simple: a measurement mistake. One engineering team used metric units, while another used imperial units. A software system provided data in pound-seconds instead of the expected Newton-seconds. The difference seemed small on paper, but in space, small mistakes become enormous problems. The spacecraft traveled too close to Mars and burned up. The mission cost NASA about $327 million. And the failure became a powerful reminder that space does not forgive human errors. There are no quick repairs, no emergency landings, and no chance to send a mechanic. The story sounds almost unbelievable because humanity can build machines capable of traveling millions of miles through space, yet one incorrect unit can destroy everything. Space exploration is a perfect example of how advanced technology and simple human mistakes can exist side by side. 8. The universe is bigger and stranger than we can imagine. The most frightening truth about space may be that we have barely begun to understand it. Humans have studied the universe for thousands of years, but modern science has revealed something shocking. Almost everything around us is made of things we cannot see. Scientists estimate that normal matter, the stars, planets, people, and everything we interact with, makes up only about 5% of the universe. The rest appears to be dark matter and dark energy, mysterious forces that scientists know exist because of their effects, but still cannot directly observe. Dark matter seems to help hold galaxies together. Without it, many galaxies would not rotate the way they do. Dark energy appears to be causing the expansion of the universe to accelerate, pushing galaxies farther apart faster than expected. The strange part is that we are surrounded by a universe filled with invisible mysteries. Imagine standing in a massive city where 95% of the buildings, roads, and people are completely hidden, and you can only guess they exist because you see their effects. Every telescope we build reveals more questions instead of fewer answers. We discover new planets, strange signals, and unexplained cosmic events that challenge what we thought we knew. Space is not just a place waiting to be explored. It is a giant mystery, reminding humanity that the universe is far more complex, dangerous, and unbelievable than our imagination ever predicted. 9. The planet that rains glass. Sideways, when people imagine alien worlds, they often picture strange landscapes and beautiful sunsets. But some planets discovered by scientists are so extreme they sound like something from a nightmare. One of the most terrifying examples is HD 189733b, a giant planet located about 64 light-years away from Earth. At first glance, this planet looks beautiful. Space telescopes have observed that it has a deep blue color, almost like Earth. But the similarity ends there. The blue color does not come from oceans. Scientists believe it comes from clouds containing silicate particles, similar to the material found in glass. The planet is also unbelievably hot, with temperatures reaching around 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds are estimated to blow at thousands of miles per hour. Because of these extreme conditions, scientists believe that if you could somehow stand there, you might experience glass particles flying sideways through the atmosphere at incredible speeds. Of course, humans could never survive there. The pressure, heat, and violent weather would destroy any spacecraft or suit we currently have. HD 189733b is a reminder that the universe does not create worlds based on what is comfortable for life. Some planets are beautiful from a distance, but terrifying up close. The universe is full of places that look peaceful until you learn the horrifying truth behind them. 10. The strange silence of space. One of the most unsettling things about space is not what we hear. It is what we don't hear. The universe is unbelievably huge, filled with billions of galaxies and possibly trillions of planets. Yet after decades of searching, humanity has found no confirmed evidence of intelligent alien civilizations. This mystery is known as the Fermi paradox. Scientists ask a simple but confusing question. If the universe is so enormous and has existed for so long, where is everyone? Our galaxy alone contains hundreds of billions of stars, and many of those stars have planets. Some scientists believe that life may be common, but intelligent civilizations might destroy themselves before becoming advanced enough to explore space. Others suggest that alien civilizations could exist, but are too far away for us to detect. Another possibility is even stranger. Maybe advanced civilizations are avoiding contact, or maybe we are simply too early in cosmic history to meet anyone else. The silence becomes even more mysterious when we consider that humans have only been sending radio signals into space for a little over a century. On a cosmic timeline, that is just a tiny moment. The universe could be full of life, or Earth could be completely alone. Either possibility is equally terrifying. Because if we are not alone, we have no idea who is out there. And if we are alone, it means humanity may be the only voice speaking in an enormous, silent universe. 11. The day the sun almost destroyed modern technology. The sun gives Earth life, warmth, and energy, but it also has a violent side that can threaten modern civilization. In 1859, the most powerful solar storm ever recorded hit Earth in an event known as the Carrington event. During this massive eruption, the sun released a huge burst of charged particles toward our planet. The impact was so strong that telegraph systems around the world failed. Some operators reported receiving electric shocks from their equipment, and some telegraph machines continued working even after being disconnected from power. The night sky became so bright with colorful auroras that people in places like the Caribbean could see lights usually visible only near the poles. Now imagine the same event happening today. Our world depends on satellites, GPS, internet connections, communication networks, and electrical systems. A powerful solar storm could damage satellites, disrupt navigation systems, and potentially cause major problems for power grids. Scientists monitor the sun constantly because they know another event like this is possible. The question is not if the sun will create another powerful storm, but when. The frightening part is that the source of the danger is the same star that makes life on Earth possible. The sun is not our enemy, but it is a reminder that even the things we depend on can become dangerous under the wrong conditions. 12. The spacecraft that carried a message for aliens. In 1977, NASA launched two spacecraft that would eventually become humanity's longest-distance explorers, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Their mission was to study the outer planets, but scientists also gave them something unusual, a message from Earth. Attached to each spacecraft is the Golden Record, a special gold-plated disc containing sounds, images, and information about humanity. It includes music from different cultures, greetings in multiple languages, sounds of nature, and recordings like ocean waves and animal noises. The idea was simple but incredibly ambitious. If an intelligent alien civilization ever discovered Voyager, they would have a small introduction to Earth. However, the chances of that happening are extremely small. Voyager is moving through an unimaginably large universe, and space is mostly empty. Finding the spacecraft would be like finding a single grain of sand on an entire planet. There is also something strangely emotional about the mission. Voyager is carrying a message from a civilization that may never know if anyone receives it. It represents humanity's curiosity and hope, but also our loneliness. One day, long after Earth has changed, Voyager will continue drifting through space. It may become the last remaining artifact of human civilization, silently carrying our story into the darkness. 13. The planet where it rains. Diamond space is full of worlds that sound impossible, and one of the strangest may be 55 Cancri, a planet located about 41 light-years away. Scientists believe this super-Earth may have conditions completely different from anything found in our solar system. The planet is almost twice the size of Earth and is extremely hot, with surface temperatures reaching thousands of degrees Fahrenheit. It orbits its star so closely that 1 year lasts only about 18 hours, but the most fascinating possibility is what may exist beneath its surface. Some researchers have suggested that planets like 55 Cancri could contain large amounts of carbon, creating conditions where diamonds might form under enormous pressure. Imagine a world where precious stones are not rare treasures, but possibly part of the planet itself. Of course, scientists are still studying the planet, and the exact composition remains uncertain. Space discoveries often begin with theories that change as we collect more information. Still, 55 Cancri shows just how strange the universe can be. On Earth, diamonds are symbols of luxury and rarity. Somewhere in the galaxy, there may be worlds where diamonds are buried under oceans of lava and exposed to temperatures hot enough to melt metals. The universe does not just create different versions of Earth. It creates worlds that challenge our entire understanding of what a planet can be. 14. The black hole that eats stars. Black holes are already terrifying, but some of them are even more extreme than scientists imagined. In the center of many galaxies, including our own Milky Way, there are supermassive black holes with millions or even billions of times the mass of the Sun. One of the most dramatic events scientists have observed is called a tidal disruption event. This happens when a star gets too close to a black hole. The black hole's gravity becomes so powerful that it stretches the star apart, creating a process scientists sometimes describe as spaghettification. The star is pulled into a long stream of material before being consumed. During this process, enormous amounts of energy are released, creating bright flashes that telescopes can detect from millions of light years away. The most frightening part is that the star does not explode like a normal supernova. It is slowly torn apart by gravity itself. Scientists study these events because they reveal information about black holes, which are otherwise almost impossible to observe directly. Black holes are not evil cosmic monsters. They follow the laws of physics perfectly, but they represent something humans struggle to imagine. Places where gravity becomes so powerful that even the normal rules of the universe begin to change. 15. The real danger of traveling to Mars. Mars is often described as humanity's next great adventure. But reaching the red planet is not just a matter of building a bigger rocket. A trip to Mars would expose astronauts to dangers unlike anything humans have faced before. The journey would likely take several months each way. During that time, astronauts would be trapped inside a small spacecraft far from Earth's protection. They would face radiation, isolation, psychological stress, and the constant risk of equipment failure. Unlike the International Space Station, which is still protected by Earth's magnetic field, a Mars mission would send humans deep into space where cosmic radiation is much stronger. There is also the problem of Mars itself. The planet has a thin atmosphere, extreme temperatures, dust storms, and no breathable oxygen. A simple mistake with equipment could become life-threatening because help from Earth would be impossible. A message between Earth and Mars can take several minutes each way, meaning astronauts would have to solve many problems alone. Exploring Mars is one of humanity's greatest dreams, but it is also one of our greatest challenges. The scary truth is that the hardest part of reaching another planet may not be building the spacecraft. It may be keeping fragile human beings alive during the journey through one of the most unforgiving environments in existence. 16. The ocean. Hidden beneath an alien moon. For years, scientists believed that icy moons in the outer solar system were just frozen rocks. Then they discovered something that changed everything. Beneath the thick ice of Europa, one of Jupiter's largest moons, there may be a massive ocean containing more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Europa looks like a frozen wasteland from space. Its surface is covered with cracks and lines created by movement beneath the ice. But those strange patterns suggest that something is happening below. Scientists believe Jupiter's enormous gravity creates tidal forces that stretch and squeeze Europa, producing heat that keeps the underground ocean from completely freezing. The biggest mystery is whether this hidden ocean could contain life. On Earth, we have found organisms living in extreme environments, including deep ocean ecosystems around volcanic vents where there is no sunlight. Because of this, scientists think Europa could possibly have the right ingredients for simple forms of life. The idea is both exciting and unsettling. There could be an entire alien ocean hidden beneath kilometers of ice, completely separated from humanity for billions of years. Europa reminds us that life does not always need warm beaches or green forests. Sometimes it might exist in the darkest, coldest places imaginable, waiting quietly beneath an endless layer of ice. 17. The spacecraft that entered the Sun's atmosphere. The Sun is the most important object in our solar system, but it is also one of the most dangerous. For centuries, humans could only observe it from a safe distance. Then, NASA decided to send a spacecraft directly into its outer atmosphere. In 2018, NASA launched the Parker Solar Probe, a mission designed to study the Sun closer than any spacecraft before. Unlike previous missions, Parker was built to survive extreme heat and radiation while traveling through the Sun's outer layer called the corona. The conditions there are almost impossible to imagine. Temperatures can reach millions of degrees Fahrenheit, and powerful solar particles race through space at incredible speeds. The spacecraft is protected by a special heat shield that allows its instruments to operate in an environment that would destroy ordinary materials. The mission has already changed scientists' understanding of solar activity, including how solar winds are created and how energy moves away from the Sun. The strange thing is that the Sun, the object that allows life to exist on Earth, is also capable of disrupting satellites, damaging technology, and creating dangerous space weather. The Parker Solar Probe is humanity's closest look at a star, but it is also a reminder that even our own cosmic neighborhood contains forces far beyond human control. 18. The planet that might have no surface. At all, most planets we know have a solid ground where you could theoretically stand, but some worlds are completely different. WASP-12b, a planet located about 1,400 light-years away, is a giant gas planet facing one of the most extreme environments discovered. This planet orbits incredibly close to its star, completing 1 year in just over a single Earth day. Because of this distance, the star's gravity is slowly pulling the planet apart. Scientists have discovered that WASP-12b is losing material, with gas from the planet's atmosphere being stripped away and dragged toward its star. The planet is essentially being destroyed over time. Even more surprising, WASP-12b absorbs almost all the light that reaches it, making it one of the darkest planets ever discovered. Instead of reflecting light like many planets, it appears almost black. The planet is a perfect example of how different worlds can be. On Earth, we think of planets as stable places that last for billions of years. But across the universe, some planets are being burned, stretched, and slowly erased. WASP-12b shows that planetary destruction is not just something from science fiction. It is happening right now somewhere in the universe, on a scale humans can barely imagine. 19. The mystery of fast radio bursts. One of the strangest discoveries in modern astronomy came from something that lasted only milliseconds. Scientists began detecting powerful signals coming from deep space called fast radio bursts, or FRBs. These bursts are incredibly short, but unbelievably energetic. In less than a second, some of them can release as much energy as the Sun produces in several days. The signals come from distant galaxies, but their exact causes remained mysterious for years. At first, some people suggested wild explanations, including alien technology. Scientists, however, focused on natural causes. Research has shown that at least some FRBs are produced by highly magnetic neutron stars called magnetars. These are the remains of massive stars that collapsed after dying. But the mystery is not completely solved. Astronomers continue finding new types of radio bursts with unusual patterns and behaviors. The fascinating part is that these signals travel across enormous distances before reaching Earth. They are like cosmic messages from events that happened millions or billions of years ago. Every time scientists detect a new FRB, it is a reminder that the universe is constantly sending us information. The challenge is understanding what it is trying to tell us. Space is not silent. It is filled with strange signals, and we are only beginning to learn how to listen. 20. The floating graveyard of space junk above Earth? There is a problem most people never see. Thousands of dead satellites, broken rocket parts, and tiny pieces of metal are floating around our planet at incredible speeds. This growing cloud of debris has created what scientists call the space junk problem. Since the beginning of the space age, humans have launched thousands of rockets and satellites. Many of these objects eventually stopped working but remained in orbit. Today, there are millions of pieces of debris, including small fragments that are difficult to track. The danger comes from speed. A tiny piece of metal traveling thousands of miles per hour can damage or destroy a spacecraft. In 2009, a collision between an active American satellite and a dead Russian satellite created thousands of new debris pieces, showing how quickly the problem can grow. Scientists worry about the possibility of a chain reaction called the Kessler syndrome, where collisions create more debris, which causes more collisions, making some areas of orbit dangerously crowded. The strange irony is that humanity has explored space for decades, but we may accidentally make parts of it harder to use. The universe is enormous, but the space around Earth is limited. Our biggest obstacle to future exploration might not be reaching space. It might be cleaning up the mess we left behind. 21. The strange possibility that Earth is not special. For thousands of years, humans believed Earth was the center of everything. Modern science changed that idea completely. We learned that Earth orbits an ordinary star in an ordinary galaxy among billions of other worlds. The discovery of thousands of exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars, has made scientists ask a huge question. Is Earth unique, or is life common throughout the universe? Some discovered planets are located in areas where conditions might allow liquid water to exist. Scientists call this region the habitable zone. However, being in the right location does not guarantee life. A planet also needs the right atmosphere, chemistry, and long-term stability. The most unsettling possibility is that Earth may not be as rare as we once thought. There could be countless worlds with oceans, atmospheres, and perhaps even simple life forms. But there is another possibility. Earth could be incredibly rare. Maybe intelligent life almost never develops. Maybe civilizations appear for a short time and disappear before they can explore the stars. Both ideas are equally mysterious. The universe contains billions of galaxies, yet we still have only one confirmed example of a planet with life: our own. Whether Earth is ordinary or unbelievably special remains one of the greatest questions humanity has ever asked. 22. The planet that is being destroyed by its own star. Some planets are born into impossible situations, and Kepler 1520b is one of the most extreme examples. Unlike Earth, which has existed for billions of years in relative stability, this strange world appears to be slowly disappearing. Kepler 1520b orbits extremely close to its star, completing one orbit in just about 15 hours. The heat from the star is so intense that the planet is losing material directly into space. Scientists believe it is leaving behind a trail of dust and gas, almost like a comet. The planet is sometimes described as a dying world because its surface is being destroyed little by little. The intense radiation is stripping away its outer layers, and researchers estimate that it may eventually disappear completely. What makes this discovery fascinating is that it gives scientists a rare chance to watch a planet's final stages. Usually we study planets after they form or when they are stable, but Kepler 1520b allows us to see what happens when a world loses its battle against its own star. It is a reminder that planets are not permanent. Even entire worlds can have a beginning, a middle, and an ending. Somewhere in the universe, a planet is slowly fading away, one piece at a time. 23. The strange sound that came from deep space. In 2006, scientists detected something unusual coming from space. It was not a normal radio signal or a typical cosmic event. Instead, they found a mysterious burst of energy that lasted only a few seconds, but was unlike anything they had seen before. The signal was later connected to a type of object called a magnetar, a neutron star with an incredibly powerful magnetic field. Magnetars are among the most extreme objects in the universe. Their magnetic fields are trillions of times stronger than Earth's, powerful enough to affect matter at the atomic level. In 2020, astronomers detected a fast radio burst coming from a magnetar inside our own Milky Way. This was a major breakthrough because it showed that at least some mysterious space signals come from natural sources. But the discovery also revealed how violent the universe can be. A magnetar can release enormous amounts of energy in seconds, creating explosions that travel across space. The strange thing is that these events happen without warning. A star that appears invisible and harmless from Earth can suddenly release a powerful burst that crosses thousands of light years. Space is full of these hidden giants, objects that seem quiet until they unleash unimaginable power. 24. The spacecraft that landed on an asteroid. Most people imagine space exploration as visiting planets and moons, but NASA has also traveled to much smaller worlds. In 2018, NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft arrived at the asteroid Bennu, a small object only about 500 meters wide. At first glance, Bennu looked like a simple pile of rocks floating through space, but studying it revealed something much more interesting. Scientists discovered that asteroids contain ancient material left over from the early solar system, making them like time capsules from more than 4 billion years ago. The mission became even more challenging when the spacecraft attempted to collect a sample from the asteroid's surface. Bennu's surface was not solid like scientists expected. Instead, it behaved almost like a pile of loose gravel, creating unexpected risks. OSIRIS-REx successfully collected material and returned it to Earth in 2023. Scientists are now studying the sample to learn more about how planets formed and whether asteroids delivered important ingredients for life, such as water and organic molecules. The mission showed that even a tiny rock in space can hold secrets about the history of everything around us. Sometimes the most important discoveries are not found on distant planets. They are hidden inside small pieces of the universe quietly traveling through darkness. 25. The planet with winds. Faster than a hurricane, Earth has experienced some terrifying storms, but they are nothing compared to the weather on HD 189733b. This distant planet has winds so powerful that they make even the strongest hurricanes on Earth look harmless. Scientists estimate that winds on this planet may reach thousands of miles per hour. These incredible speeds are caused by the planet's extreme temperatures and atmospheric conditions. One side of the planet constantly faces its star, creating a huge difference between the hot and cooler regions. That temperature imbalance drives violent winds around the planet. The planet is also famous for its unusual blue color. From far away, it looks beautiful, almost like Earth. But the reality is completely different. The blue color likely comes from tiny particles in the atmosphere, including silicate materials that may form glass. If a human somehow stood there, they would not see a peaceful blue world. They would face crushing heat, deadly radiation, and winds carrying particles moving faster than any storm on Earth. HD 189733b is a perfect example of how appearances can be misleading. In space, the most beautiful places can sometimes hide the most dangerous environments. 26. The mysterious planet that should not exist. One of the biggest surprises in astronomy was discovering planets that seem impossible according to older theories. A perfect example is TOI 849b, a strange planet that appears to be the exposed core of a giant world. Scientists believe planets like Jupiter have massive rocky cores hidden beneath enormous layers of gas. But TOI 849b seems to have lost its atmosphere completely, leaving behind what may be the remains of a giant planet. The planet is located extremely close to its star, where temperatures are incredibly high. The intense radiation may have stripped away its outer layers over billions of years. Another possibility is that the planet experienced a massive collision that removed most of its atmosphere. What makes TOI 849b fascinating is that it challenges our understanding of how planets form and evolve. It shows that planets are not always finished products. They can change dramatically over time. The universe is constantly reshaping worlds. Planets can grow, lose their atmospheres, collide with other objects, or slowly disappear. TOI 849b is like a survivor of a cosmic disaster, a world that lost almost everything but still continues orbiting its star. 27. The real problem. With living on Mars, Mars has always fascinated humanity. It is close, mysterious, and looks like the most realistic place for humans to visit beyond Earth. But living there would be far more difficult than most people imagine. The biggest challenge is not just getting to Mars, it is surviving there. Mars has an extremely thin atmosphere that cannot protect humans from dangerous radiation. The planet is also freezing cold, with average temperatures around -80 degrees Fahrenheit. Dust storms can cover the entire planet and last for weeks or even months. Water exists on Mars, but mostly as ice beneath the surface or frozen at the poles. Any future astronauts would need advanced technology to extract and use it. There is also the psychological challenge. A Mars mission would separate astronauts from Earth for years. Communication delays mean they could not instantly call for help. Every problem would have to be solved by the people already there. The dream of living on Mars is exciting, but Mars is not a second Earth. It is a dangerous desert world that requires enormous preparation. Exploring Mars may become one of humanity's greatest achievements, but it will also test how far humans can survive away from the planet that created us. 28. The universe has more galaxies than we can imagine. When humans look at the night sky, we see thousands of stars. But what we actually see is only a tiny fraction of the universe. Beyond our Milky Way galaxy are billions of other galaxies, each containing millions or billions of stars. For a long time, scientists underestimated how many galaxies existed. The Hubble Space Telescope changed that by looking into a tiny, seemingly empty area of space. What appeared to be darkness turned out to contain thousands of distant galaxies. This discovery showed that the universe is far more crowded than we imagined. Some galaxies are enormous, containing trillions of stars. Others are small and irregular, shaped by collisions with larger galaxies. Many galaxies are so far away that we see them as they existed billions of years ago, because their light has taken enormous amounts of time to reach us. The strangest part is that there may be countless galaxies we have never detected. The observable universe itself may only be a small part of everything that exists. Humanity once thought Earth was the center of creation. Now we know we live on a tiny planet inside one ordinary galaxy among billions. The universe does not just challenge our knowledge, it challenges our sense of importance. 29. The strange possibility of a dark universe. One of the biggest mysteries in modern science is that most of the universe is completely invisible. Everything humans have ever seen, stars, planets, galaxies, and even ourselves, makes up only a small portion of reality. Scientists believe around 27% of the universe is dark matter, and about 68% is dark energy. Together, they make up almost everything, yet nobody knows exactly what they are. Dark matter does not appear to interact with light, meaning we cannot see it directly. Scientists know it exists because galaxies behave as if they are being affected by extra invisible mass. Dark energy is even more mysterious. It appears to be responsible for the accelerating expansion of the universe, pushing galaxies farther apart faster over time. The unsettling part is that we live inside a universe where almost everything is hidden from us. Imagine looking at an ocean where you can only see the surface, while the vast majority of what exists is somewhere deep below. For all our technology and discoveries, humanity is still trying to understand the basic structure of reality itself. The universe is not just bigger than we thought. It may be stranger than anything our imagination can create, and the most surprising discoveries may still be waiting in the darkness. 30. The planet where a year is shorter than a day. One of the strangest planets ever discovered is K2-141b, a world where time works completely differently from Earth. Imagine celebrating your birthday every few hours. On this planet, that is almost reality because one complete year lasts only about 6.7 Earth hours. The reason is simple. K2-141b orbits incredibly close to its star. It is so close that the planet is constantly exposed to extreme heat and radiation. Scientists estimate that temperatures on the day side can reach over 5,700 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to vaporize rocks. But the strange weather does not stop there. Researchers believe the planet may have a cycle where rocks on the hot side turn into vapor, rise into the atmosphere, and then fall back as liquid rock on the colder side. In other words, it may have a weather system where it literally rains stone. K2-141b is a perfect example of how alien worlds can completely change our understanding of planets. On Earth, we think of weather as rain, snow, and storms. Somewhere in the universe, there are worlds where the forecast is molten rock falling from the sky. The universe does not just create different versions of Earth, it creates places that seem almost impossible. 31. The mysterious object traveling through our solar system. In 2017, astronomers discovered something moving through our solar system that had never been seen before. It was called Oumuamua, and it was the first confirmed object from outside our solar system to pass through our neighborhood. At first, scientists thought it was probably a comet or asteroid, but Oumuamua behaved strangely. It had an unusual shape, appearing extremely long and thin, and it accelerated slightly as it moved away from the sun. Normally, this kind of movement happens when comets release gas and dust. However, Oumuamua showed no obvious signs of a traditional comet tail. This created a scientific mystery. Some people suggested unusual explanations, including the possibility of artificial origin. Scientists have not found evidence that it was an alien spacecraft, and most researchers believe natural explanations are more likely. Still, Oumuamua changed the way scientists think about objects traveling between stars. It proved that material from other solar systems can enter ours, meaning our galaxy is constantly exchanging pieces of different worlds. The most fascinating part is that we only noticed Oumuamua after it had already arrived. Something from another star system passed through our cosmic backyard, and we barely caught a glimpse before it disappeared into the darkness. 32. The dark side of living in space. Space travel looks exciting from Earth. We see astronauts floating in zero gravity, taking incredible photos, and exploring the unknown. But living in space is much harder on the human body than most people realize. Without Earth's gravity, astronauts experience major physical changes. Their muscles weaken because they no longer need to support their bodies the same way. Their bones lose density because they are not under normal pressure. Even the shape of their eyes can change because fluids move differently in microgravity. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station exercise for about 2 hours every day just to reduce these effects. Without regular training, returning to Earth after a long mission would be extremely difficult. There are also psychological challenges. Astronauts live in small spaces, follow strict schedules, and spend months away from family and friends. A small conflict inside a spacecraft can become a serious problem because there is nowhere else to go. The human body evolved for Earth, not for space. Every mission teaches scientists more about how fragile we really are outside our planet. The dream of exploring distant worlds is inspiring, but the reality is that humans are carrying an Earth-made body into an environment where almost everything works against us. 33. The strange planets that wander alone. Through space. Most planets we know about orbit stars, just like Earth orbits the Sun. But scientists have discovered something much stranger: planets that appear to travel through space completely alone. These are called rogue planets. They do not orbit a star and instead drift through the darkness of space. Scientists believe some of them were thrown out of their original solar systems after gravitational interactions with larger planets or passing stars. Without a nearby star, these planets would be incredibly dark and cold. They would not have normal sunlight, and their surfaces could freeze to temperatures far below anything experienced on Earth. However, some scientists think certain rogue planets might still contain underground oceans. Internal heat from radioactive materials or leftover formation energy could keep water liquid beneath the surface. The idea is fascinating because it changes how we think about where life might exist. We usually search for planets near stars, but perhaps some forms of life could survive in completely different environments. Imagine a planet wandering through the galaxy for billions of years with no sunrise, no sunset, and no neighboring worlds. It would be a lonely journey through endless darkness. The universe may contain billions of these forgotten worlds, silently traveling through space without anyone ever seeing them. Earth is not just our home. It is one of the most unusual and mysterious planets we know.